What's going on, everyone? This is Mark here with Anastacio with my partner James, and I'm gonna kind of go over again why I don't like footwork, and in a sense it's gonna kind of be like a triangular footwork mini seminar, if you will. Now, I made a few videos in the past about how to use footwork, the do's and don'ts of footwork, and so let me just break it down like so. It's not that I don't feel that footwork is important. To obtain an angle in a position is very well predicated on how you move your feet and how you can achieve that position or even attempt to achieve that position. But I think the problem is, and forgive me for speaking on behalf of an entire community, but I think not with all but most systems of Filipino martial arts, when they transition their techniques from, let's say, a single stick or double stick concept where you can see footwork a little bit more apparent, and they transfer it to, let's say, empty hand, they think that it has to be exactly the same. But the criteria is different, the circumstances are different. And when they do that, they think more about making sure that they do what's written on paper or the rules as opposed to accomplishing the goal that's in front of them. In this particular situation, if James were to punch me, my goal is not to show you Filipino martial arts, my goal is to not get hit. So what happens happening is, you have your female triangle footwork without punching it kind of looks like this. I have my left foot to the left side, right foot to the right side, roughly at 45 degrees. And then they'll do it like this. They'll go wide, and then they'll start to apply their techniques from a range that doesn't make any sense. Number one, I don't think I have the timing for that. And number two, why am I creating space for my partner to either recover or to retaliate and add in a secondary follow-up or even tertiary follow-up. So instead of trying to look at it exactly the way it is, here's how your triangular footworks are still in your movements themselves. When he punches me, this, as you can see, my body is on a parallel. It's about out-angling my opponent. When I parry this here, it's very tight in nature, but my body still has to adjust. So it's not like I'm standing here and I just parry it like so. I turn very sharp and within my frame because I want to protect myself as I pass that down. Now when I come over this way, I'm going to follow, but I'm going to do a female triangle. Even though I don't really move, my body repositions as I elbow towards the face. So in our system, this would be a female triangle. If it's in the arrow format, this is our male triangle, this way, or in an intercepting fashion, this way, or this way, okay? So, this is kind of like our male triangle, and then this is our female triangle. As I get all of this up here, I'm just going to turn my partner for a quick second. As I get this underhook, I frame that arm, frame against the neck here. Once I bring this down, my attack is on an angle as well. So this can be the alternate male triangle. From my knee to my supporting leg, that is a diagonal as well, because I'm not doing it flat in front like so. I'm on an angle. And then I can continue to force that into walking the base and then proceed to take my partner down. So a lot of the times you can see it in micro movements. Sometimes you can see it in macro or larger movements, especially when we deal with the stick and whatnot. But even with so, there goes back to my first point, it doesn't have to be 45 degrees. Accomplish your goal. And in fact, for those that spar, for those that are accustomed to pressure testing their techniques in a sense, obviously it's not going to look as clean as this, but you will notice that in any sort of sparring or any sort of pressure engagement, the last thing you're thinking about is how perfect your footwork is, and you're more worried about what's going on up here. I don't care how my step looks if I'm going to get hit in the head with a stick still. What does that accomplish? I don't care about my footwork if I'm about to be dragged to the ground or punched in the face or kicked in the body. I'm worried about what my hands are doing and how I'm using my techniques to defend. Then my footwork will complement what's happening up here, as opposed to my upper body mechanics are only predicated on the fact if I get 45 degrees perfectly. Right? 45 degrees, 42.5, 37, give me any number, get out of the way, make sure you're in a position to preserve yourself, and then eventually make sure that position can also be some place where you can also counter and look to control or engage with your opponent under the right circumstances. So I hope that gave you guys a little bit of insight when it comes to triangular footwork or any sort of footwork in general, especially when it comes to Filipino martial arts. And if you guys can apply that to your training, then I'm glad that I made this video for you guys. So if you did enjoy the video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you're new to the channel. If you're interested in breakdowns and more in-depth lessons, make sure you guys check us out on AnastasioKhalid.com. We got online lessons, tutorials that are available for everyone at different levels. So definitely check that out. Until next time, catch you guys then.